Greetings, demons, and welcome to a bit of an update video, a bit of a discussion video. Basically, about 3 months ago, I released a video basically explaining that I was going to be at least trying to move most, if not all, of my, gaming, my gameplay over to PC, and furthermore, I was going to be using keyboard and mouse for the foreseeable future. And I thought it was worth just revisiting this topic and just kind of updating you on how that's actually gone. So I have said this in a number of live streams and also a few of the Fortnite weeklies, so I'm not going to harp on it too much, but I still use controller, and as it currently is, I have no plans on going back to trying to only do keyboard and mouse, and that is mostly just because I'm not good at it. I'm really not, and that is regardless of me trying. I have put a lot of time into keyboard and mouse in this 3-month span, and it's just not for me. I said in my original video that there was going to be plenty of games where I kind of have no choice. Rocket League is a game that just cannot be played with keyboard and mouse, or at least not in a practical way, not in a way that I think is enjoyable, and even pro players agree that that is just a game you need a controller for. So there was never an expectation that everything would be keyboard and mouse. I never made that, my goal, But I wanted to move, at the very least, my shooters over to keyboard and mouse. And with that, I have kind of met that point. I have been doing, obviously, during that time, I still had the Black Ops Cold War campaign ongoing. That was with keyboard and mouse. And since then, I've also done the World War II campaign with keyboard and mouse. And that was fun. I enjoyed that. And I just don't think it's really helped me all too much because, I'm not great at Call of Duty to begin with, but I think it's pretty fair to say that even, against bots, essentially, in the campaign, I was not that great. My sniping was accurate. Accuracy, I think I got pretty accurate over my time playing those campaigns, and even playing CSGO, which I'm recording this audio before the gameplay, so I might do CSGO, it depends how I'm going. But yeah, in shooters, the ones that I've been playing with keyboard and mouse, I'm not inaccurate, but my main issue, and this is something that I thought I was going to have an issue with from the start, is movement, and also things like, just which key to press for certain things. I've generally made it so that all games that I play have the same control scheme for keyboard and mouse, which is what I do with controller as well. I, change the keybinds so that it's normal to me. And as a general rule, I'd say that is probably the best case scenario, but there are so many games that I play with so many different features and abilities and, just unique aspects that it's kind of unreasonable for me to do it like that with keyboard and mouse. And that has been the biggest drawback of just, I'm not aware enough of where any specific keys are on my keyboard, despite the fact that I'm someone who, writes a lot, types up a lot and stuff like that, and I can, type full paragraphs or whatever with a keyboard easily without looking. But when it comes to trying to just do sometimes basic tasks in, a shooter, it just doesn't work out. F and G and even E sometimes I really struggle to hit, and that becomes a big issue, especially when a lot of the time in multiplayer games, you're needing to hit those very quickly or you will die. And that is the main reason that I've kind of stuck to, I use keyboard and mouse for some things, but most things I still use controller. I like the control, and I understand that's kind of blasphemy. I don't know, but it's very much one of those things where I like the accuracy that mouse gives me. I think it is a really nice thing to have that amount of, aim, but at the same time, I'm sacrificing way too much by, only having WASD as my movement. The full movement that a joystick does actually give you is so much better to me for movement. And I know that a lot of people are going to say, well, you can't do as much when you're, using one entire hand for both looking and every action, with all the face buttons and stuff. But it's I don't know. I've always used controllers. I didn't start as a PC player by any means, and I've just adapted to the fact that I need to use my thumb and my index finger for a lot of actions, as well as movement of where I'm looking, of my aim. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel like trying to change how I play games is a bit too far. And as I say, I'm still planning on continuing with using keyboard and mouse for various things. I've become a lot more confident with playing games like CSGO, TF2, stuff like that, with keyboard and mouse. Especially TF2 seems as it was a game that I did play with keyboard and mouse originally when I first played it. I never knew it had control support until a few years in. And because of that, like games like that, I have become a lot more confident in my ability to use keyboard and mouse. My movement is still terrible, and I still mess up and I throw grenades and flashes and use abilities and all sorts of stuff like that when I don't want to. But I'm in a much better place than I was 3 months ago. So in the last one, I did also mention how I wanted to get more into Java, and I have played a lot of Minecraft Java since then. I've done a lot of streams on Minecraft Java. It's been my go-to chill game for a lot of my streams, but I'll be honest, I haven't played it in a little while, and because of the fact that a lot of my friends, in fact, the vast majority of my friends, are on console, specifically on Xbox, it's unreasonable for me to completely move to Java, though I do want to, and eventually, a lot of my friends, a lot of the people I play with, are moving to PC some point in the future, so that will mean that hopefully we'll be able to play Java, and that will be a lot better. I think I've got better at Minecraft with keyboard and mouse, and I do actually use it for Bedrock sometimes as well. But honestly, because of how I'm like kind of wired, I suppose, because of how long I've been playing Minecraft with controller, it just feels so much more natural to use the controller, and I feel confident playing Java with keyboard and mouse, but I like to stick with Bedrock with controller. The stuff that's in Java that's beneficial to me, I can do pretty easily using keyboard and mouse. I don't really have to think about it too much, and generally it's just not something that I'm going to get much better at than what I'm currently at, but at the same time, I enjoy the experience of it, and it's one of those games where I'm definitely going to stick to playing keyboard and mouse. I said in the previous video that I've looked into the control support mods for Java. I've continued to look into those just to see how they are, but I think I've come to the conclusion that it's not really worth any potential issues that'll come about by having those mods enabled. I do have other mods that I have on Java quite frequently, but just adding something that could mess up something else, I'd rather not. When it's something that I don't actually need by any means, I'd rather just have it as is and use keyboard and mouse with that. But yeah, I think that's really all I really want to talk about. So the long and short of it is I'm still using controller for the vast majority of what I do. Fortnite is a no-go. I'm not even attempting to try and learn keyboard and mouse with it. I can't build at all with keyboard and mouse. It's not a thing. I can't do it. And for proof of that, I did a video, a Fortnite Weekly, around the time of the last video, proving that I'm just not good with keyboard and mouse. But yeah, when it comes to the main games that I play, being Fortnite, Rogue Company, stuff like that, I'm sticking with controller. There are games that I've started playing since that I am using keyboard and mouse. Genshin Impact, I've been getting really into that, and I use keyboard and mouse for that. I've been doing the same for Dead by Daylight, which is a game that I typically did play with controller. I've been using keyboard and mouse a lot. Though I do switch with that game. It's very much just depending on how I feel at the time. And otherwise, platformers. This isn't really as important, but I've been playing a lot more platformers on PC using keyboard and mouse. I do actually quite like, especially with 2D platforms specifically, I really enjoy the amount of control you have in the y-axis, or the x-axis, of just the slight movements that you can get with keyboard and mouse, which kind of surprised me, honestly. It's something that I had experienced before. I played a number of them. I used to stream Super Boy Planet or something like that a lot in the early days of both this channel and when I used to do gaming on other channels. So it's one of those things where it's just like, eventually I will probably start doing all my platformers on PC, I mean, with keyboard and mouse, obviously. I play a lot of platforms on, like, the Switch. Can't really use keyboard and mouse on there, but yeah, I think right now I'm in a place where keyboard and mouse is something that I can use pretty happily in certain types of games, and I'm less afraid of games that don't have controller support now. I'm much more willing to give them a chance just because I've learnt how to use keyboard and mouse, but I've still got a long way to go before I can confidently, say, oh yeah, I'm going to go for Diamond Elite or whatever in CSGO. That's way far into the future, and I'm sure I'll probably come back to this video in a few more months, maybe a year, and I might say that I've completely given up on keyboard and mouse, or I might say, keyboard and mouse is like the way to go, and I may only play a handful of games with controller, but that's very far in the future, and yeah, that's really everything I wanted to go over. So, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new around here. Tell me what you think of using keyboard and mouse if you're someone that's a controller player, or vice versa, if you're someone who uses keyboard and mouse and has started using controller for certain games. Tell me your experiences below. If you're a console player that's never used PC, what are your thoughts on keyboard and mouse? Is it something that's daunting? Is it something that kind of turns you away from PC gaming, maybe? But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and, yeah. Bye!
Lunar rainbow flag, happy pride, rabbit with facts. Streamer, let's play, they them out like dinosaurs. FNAFN, control, not the leader of a cult. Rabbit with sax, it's Lunar.